Alright, what's up, and welcome to the first episode of Fiction to Fashion. Basically, I'm just be taking all my little ideas and fashion trends and things I see off my Pinterest, and I'm gonna be making them from this day all the way up until my first fashion show. I'm planning on doing it in December, hopefully. So from now to December, basically, I'm gonna just be dropping videos. I'm hoping like once or twice a week of my clothes and just the process of me making clothes, so I can get the skill down before I make my first fashion show. I'm either gonna enter a fashion show or host my own. So sorry, I cut it. All right, so for this first episode, we'll see. This looks like that because I use this to cut the fabric. We're gonna see what the first project is, and that is gonna be my scrap skirts. So if you can look here. All right, so basically I got 3 buckets of scrap fabric, and what I'm gonna do is I'm using those buckets and I'm trying to use all that fabric before I buy any new fabric. And so with this first project, this is the first skirt we're gonna work on, is this green and gray little piece. All right, so basically what I'm doing is these are my pleated areas, and I'm gonna do the pleated panels, I'll say. And then this is gonna be my ruffle panels, and like if you can see the little rose detail, that's lace. And then this is gonna be a different fabric from this cotton fabric that I'm using at the top and the bottom there. This is gonna be a green cotton fabric, and then this is gonna be a gray. And then what these are here are gonna be little flowers that I'm gonna be making out of the fabric. So it's just gonna be just different color fabrics that I'm gonna cut up and make into different types of flowers to go on top.
Alright, so this is me making some of them scrap fabric flowers. I'm gonna need a bunch of them, so I'm gonna be making them throughout the video and everywhere I go. And I'm just doing like 3 to 4 different flowers I seen off of Pinterest.
So right now I'm just evening up this fabric. I'm cutting all the edges so that I can start making the ruffles with all this extra fabric. So what I'm doing is taking these black pieces of the joggers that I had, it's the bottom of the jogger legs. I'm cutting them in half, evening it out, and I'm gonna make strips with them and then make ruffles at each strip. So right now I'm making the ruffles for the bottom of the skirt. I got 2 of my little panels cut out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hem the edges right now, something like that. And then I'm gonna hem both the panels and then scrunch the top after I'm done hemming. It's gonna be something like that. But I gotta measure it and cut it first because the panels is not gonna be that long. So right now I'm gonna hem it, then measure it, cut it, and then we're gonna scrunch the panels.
Alright, I'm telling y'all now, get y'all popcorn and get ready. Kick your feet up. This is the longest part of the process. Cutting out, pinning, and making sure that everything's right with the pattern. What my grandma always tells me is cut twice. No, she don't say that at all. Measure twice, cut once, so that you don't gotta worry about it in the end. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting all the scrap fabric that I had and just cutting and hemming all the ends. I'm making panels out of each, like 12-inch by 12-inch panels, I would say, or like 18 by 12. And then putting those in piles, as you can see behind me, and then just going on to the next panel, cutting it out, pinning it, cutting it, sewing it. And like I said, I'm doing some more of these scrap fabric flowers. I'm gonna be doing these throughout the whole video, anywhere, at work, at home, in the car, at church, in the back, everywhere, because I got to do a bunch of these flowers. Try saying scrap fabric flowers 10 times fast. That's been messing me up the whole video. And right here, you can just see me ironing my panels. I just looked up a little mini video on Pinterest and basically just seeing how I was gonna lay out my panels, and then went to iron them before I sewed, or pressed them before I sewed them down. Sewed each panel down, and then I was gonna lay them out on the skirt how I wanted it to look. And just to make sure that my panels was extra pressed and clean and crisp, I was ironing them, sewing them, ironing them after I sew them, and then adding them into the skirt and then iron them again. All right, so work with me. I got a camera in one hand and then this little light in the other. But this is basically the little layout I have. This is not at all the colorways I'm gonna have it or the little patterns I'm gonna have it in, but just so we can get a little idea. I'm gonna take this waistband from off of one of my old jeans from my dad, and I'm gonna take 12 inches off of that so that it can fit my model's waist. And then basically what we're gonna do is I have these 2 panels, and we're gonna take these 2 panels, sew those together, and then we're gonna sew the ruffles onto the panels, then sew the panels onto the waistband. And the ruffles, I have to figure out what patterns and what colorways I wanna go with, but we're gonna have ruffles and also the scrunched, and sorry, not scrunched, gathered. And I'm gonna have some gathered skirts and some scrunched skirts. So I mean some ruffled skirts. And I'm also gonna have all those scrap fabric flowers I've been making. Sorry, my hands are ashy. Dry.
basically what we're gonna do is add them to the skirts. So I'll take them and I'll either sew around the middle right here, or I'm gonna go and do a hidden stitch through the back, and I'm gonna have a bunch of different patterns with those. I'm gonna have somewhere that's filling the whole skirt, some just coming right here and exploding out. And this is what we have right now. So I'm gonna just basically cut out some more panels, sew these panels together, and then make up the little layouts of how I want the skirts to look.
All right, so we're actually not doing none of that. We're gonna go in a new direction, but I'm still keeping the panels and like the basic layout, and I'm just not using the waistband.
All right, so this is where we're at with one of the skirts. This is the bottom, and this is the colorway I want to go with. Basically, I have this, sorry for my hands, I have this kind of greenery fabric I'm gonna add right here, and it's gonna kind of go and tie with that, and I'm gonna add the little fabric flowers, the gray ones. But this is what we're in with tonight.
All right, so this is what we're working with so far. These are the pleats. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows with the pleats, and then I just insert these little ruffles, the gathered pieces, and the back is not laid out. This is just me laying out so that I can see what it's gonna look like when it comes together. But so far, this is looking how I wanted it to, like based off of the sketch. So what it is I'm gonna have to sew these down under the pleats, and then sew the pleat. I had to get an elastic and sew that down for the top of the skirt. Sew all these down, cut some more panels for the back, and then do the raw edges. I gotta hem these. Then we'll add the fabric, scrap flowers, and some rhinestones, and then this skirt will be done. All right, and now I'm going to Michael's, and I just need to go to Michael's to get some beads and some pearls to put in the middle of those flowers. So that's just what I'm doing now. All right, so I'm back from Michael's, and this is the little beads I got to put in the middle of the flowers. So basically, for the ones that have like the bigger holes, I'm gonna try to take a needle and make it smaller, but if it doesn't get any smaller than that, I'm gonna take a piece of lace, put it where the hole's at, take my bead, and then put it like that. So it's gonna kind of look something like that. And then on the back, I'll sew the lace down and also the bead through it. And then also for the ones that have a small enough hole in the middle, I'll just take those and I'll take the beads and I'll put it right in the middle. So I'm just gonna do that with all of these. And then right now, this is what the skirt is looking like. I pinned up all the pieces on it. The panels are sewn down, and then these ones I gotta go through and sew them, and I gotta make one more ruffle, and then I'm gonna make some more, add it to the back, and then we'll go through and put the flowers on, and we'll be done with skirt number uno. All right, so I'm taking it, going in from the back with the needle. Take my bead, go through the bead, down, place it in the center, place it in place of the bead, and then sew to the side. Just get it back, and I go sew around a little bit, and then I do the little don't let that go all the way through, and I put my thread through it, make me a little knot. And I sew under the knot, make another knot, and bam, your flower is finito. Cut out your thread and jump to your next flower. So I got this one, you got this one, you got this one with the pearls, and you still gotta add some of these. All right, so I finished sewing the ruffles under the panels. This is what we're working with right now. So we're looking like. So now all I gotta do, the last step is adding all the flowers. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take these ones I've already made and then just pin them to the spots and do a little layout, see how I like it. And then I think I'm gonna cut out some more of these, so I don't have as much, of the flowers with this type of fabric with it. So I think I'm gonna make some more like that and see if I wanna do something like with the pop of colors, how you do some red ones or some yellow ones or something like that. We'll see. But right now I'm just working on adding the flowers to the skirt. All right, so right now I'm just hand sewing these flowers onto the bottom of the skirt. This is one of the last steps, basically. So this is what I'm doing. So these ones are just pinned over here. These ones already sewn on. I'm gonna take my needle and I go through the back of each panel,
sew me a little stitch, do a knot, and then that's how I sew each flower down. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Where I felt him, help put him, lock, belt, well. Alright, so right now I'm just sewing these little beads or pearls onto the skirt. And what I'm doing is just going through a little hole. And I'm just adding them here and there just to, because I just felt like the skirt was missing something. I'm going through, push it, pull it, go through a hole. Pull it tight. Make sure the strings is right. Everything's tight in the spot, and then I go back down. And then I tie my knot up in the back. Double the measure. Double my edge. Let's go right now. And then I'm gonna just add some more of this beading onto the back, and then we'll be done. I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to be like over full. And then right now, today we're gonna go meet the model, and I'm gonna see how the length is on her, see if that fits. If not, I think I'm gonna add just a little row of ruffles at the bottom with the lace, and then this skirt will be finito. And outfit number 1 for our fiction and fashion will be finished.
You're gonna catch a little bit of the thread, but you won't catch as much.
So going from like the side and then go through.
You go as close to the flower as you can. I'll show it to you when we get home.
Okay.
Yeah, but you did an amazing job. Look at it. And sew it down. Sometimes you have to pin it.
Yeah.
You see that's a clean edge?
Yeah.
So you just do that on your next one.
Okay.
But it's okay now because like it's really okay because people are wearing stuff inside out.
Yeah, that
People
is
are
also
wearing
true.
stuff, you know.
And that would be
one
cool
side
that you
real
said
long,
that.
the other side real short.
Just seeing, we put it on the model. I liked how it fit and everything. So far, I'm not going to change anything really. I just need to add one more set of ruffles onto it. Well, I'm going to try to see what it looks like on it. So I'm going to put this under and see what that looks like. And if I like it, then I'm going to add the jean material to it. If not, then we'll just leave it the same. And then I'm going to be giving it to the model tomorrow. We'll do little final shots. And dress skirt number 1 will be finito. Alright, so I finally finished the skirt. This is what it's looking like in the end. This is the final piece. Yeah, our pleats, our lace, our cotton. Alright, and so for a breakdown, skirt, and it was supposed to be gray pleats, and we also had our lace work in there. We had our green pleats with the cotton fabric. These were supposed to both be the cotton fabric. And then I also had right here, if you could see it, was supposed to be that jean material. But I didn't know if I really wanted to do the jean material after putting the skirt together. I was thinking like it might be too much. So I left it out. And then I asked around, got some critiques and stuff. And one of my cousins actually said that she thought jean material would be good in it. So I actually put it back in. So this is what we finally ended up with. And some personal critiques I would say is, so first off, like this, I would just make sure I watch my seams, not this one. Oh yeah, this one. I'll make sure I watch my seams because this is like a seam meeting from 2 different colors and it's right in the front, which doesn't look bad to me, but I also like that on the side maybe. I want to heat press my pleats longer just so they can come out more crisp. I also wanted to focus on my pleats better, not my pleats, my panels. So like these, I would actually probably make them longer. And then so that I can sew everything that meets up at the waistband and have them all drop at their different levels. Just so that I don't have to worry about like if she's out walking or anything and it lifting, this being seen.
also say that I would want to make sure that I'm keeping everything straight and in the right spot as much as possible, because like if you see here, some of these lines.
This is one of the one of the panels from my skirt, and you can see that line kind of went up. So I just want to make sure that I keep them straight, making sure I'm watching out for that. This is also, I want to make sure that I do those panels all longer next time, so that all these seams would be all in one area. And that's all for this video. Please like, comment, share, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.